Crypto volatility is in full swing, and unfortunately, we're volatile to the downside today. Today is a red day, and it's coming so after a lot of red days in a row, which has discouraged a lot of retail investors. And as you can see, the Fear and Greed Index is an indicator of that at a level of 43 neutrality. Yes, we're slightly above where we were yesterday. Yes, we're no longer in a fearful situation, but today is the last day of September, historically one of the worst cryptocurrency months, but we've got one day to start October, one of the best cryptocurrency months. That's why it's nicknamed October instead of October. And here we are getting ready to run into that. So all of our September losses can be wiped away, and hopefully we bring in October gains at historic levels. Now, I'll talk a little bit about that in the video, but we're going to be focusing on Shiba Inu coin because exchange reserves are falling below $1 billion, I believe, since the first time since 2023. So let's go over it. If it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay, and as you can see, we're going to be talking about Shiba Inu coin. We're going to be talking about exchange reserves, but I do want to say this. My other channel, Clay Bro, I got 2 strikes on there. YouTube won't explain why they put strikes on my channel. I don't think they like crypto content, to be honest with you. But I'm going to be posting on here at least until the middle of December. So thank you guys very much for clicking the subscribe button on here. Got to stay as consistent as possible. And then we can figure out what we're doing with the other channel and strikes and all of that stuff. But I do want to say thank you guys for supporting this channel and continuing to watch the videos, right? But nonetheless, let's jump into this article and see what it says. It says, Shiba Inu coin is witnessing a significant shift on centralized exchanges as fresh on-chain data reveals that the meme coin's reserves have plunged below $1 billion mark following a massive withdrawal spree. While this decline may seem concerning at first glance, historical trends suggest that large-scale withdrawals often indicate a shift from selling to accumulation in the long term. Now, according to data from CryptoQuant, Shiba Inu coin's exchange reserves have experienced a steep drop in recent months. As of September 28, 2024, Shib's supply across exchanges was approximately 143 trillion tokens, equivalent to about $1.5 billion. On Monday, September 29th, reserves have thinned to only 84 trillion tokens. Guys, nearly cut in half. And that is absolutely incredible. Now, that doesn't mean that all of these cryptocurrencies were sold and now they're sitting in liquidity pools and Shiba Inu coin is down in value. It simply means that they were withdrawn off of exchanges and now they're being held on the blockchain. They're being held by decentralized wallets. Now, it is very easy to go out there and sell on a decentralized wallet. If you guys are using Best Wallet or Trust Wallet or any of those DeFi wallets, you understand that you can still swap your cryptocurrency just the same as you could on a centralized exchange. But typically speaking, there's a lot higher trading volume. And typically speaking, when you're ready to cash out, a lot of people do so on centralized exchanges. So that's where this notion comes from, the withdrawing off of these exchanges and holding on a hot storage wallet or a cold storage wallet tends to lead towards less action, less selling pressure, which is a very strong sign if we expect to see Shiba Inu coin moving higher, because it's not just more buying pressure that we need, it's less selling pressure that we need. And that is typically what this indicates. It says, based on this timeline, the supply of Shiba Inu coin on exchanges has decreased by a whopping 59 trillion tokens in just 1 year. This marks the lowest level of SHIB held on exchanges since 2023, highlighting a shift in investor sentiment as withdrawals flood the market. Notably, the sharpest decline in Shiba Inu coin exchange reserves this year was recorded on January 7th. At the time, holdings across the centralized platforms fell to 107 trillion, marking a drop of more than 33 trillion tokens, guys, in 1 day, when reserves stood at roughly 140.79 trillion coins. And that is absolutely insane to see that much. I mean, honestly, that much crypto, yes, but especially that much Shiba Inu coin falling off of exchanges in a single day. Since then, SHIB exchange balances have continued to shrink, decreasing week by week. The decline in available supply suggests that investors may be moving their tokens into self-custody or staking options, thereby reducing risks from widespread selling pressure. Historically, when exchange reserves plummet, assets become scarcer for trading, creating conditions where the price pressure can develop if demand increases. And that is what everybody is hoping for. Guys, the market is red today, right? It's very difficult to deal with so many red days in a row, and that is why we are sitting here at a level of 53 neutrality. If you look at Shiba Inu coin's price action over the last couple of weeks, it's gone from essentially 1,400, almost 1,500 points per coin, and this is a daily chart. So essentially in the last 2 weeks, from almost 1,500 points per coin down below 1,200 points per coin. Now, the good news is this is a fresh bottom. I mean, we are sitting down here testing major support levels, and we continue to maintain above 1,000 points per coin. But it is daunting nonetheless to see very subdued price action, not just in Shiba Inu coin, but even Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin doesn't seem to be able to surpass this major level of resistance. But October is here. I am optimistic about this bull market rally. I am optimistic about the timing, and I believe that investors are ready for gains. So with that, I continue to accumulate. If you guys are interested in buying crypto, you get a link down in the description below for the KCEX exchange, which is what you see on the screen right here. Not only do these guys have the best selection of cryptocurrency, literally any crypto you would want is available on this exchange, up to 125x leverage, some of the cheapest fees in the entire industry. Major Bitcoin and major altcoins, 0.01% taker fee. Meme coins, 0% maker, 0% taker fees. So make sure to check that out. And do not forget to diversify. I'm buying these tiny little tokens. You guys got links for everything down in the description below. And until the next time, hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.